Hi, my name is Summer, and I'm an oil painter based in Atlanta. Today we're talking about a piece that is near and dear to me, my wine, my treasure. And it's for anyone who feels like their life has flipped upside down. Maybe it was a breakup, maybe you lost your job, just any moment where it feels like you're asking yourself, what is going on with my life? This painting tells me that even in those moments where everything feels uncertain, you still have your wine, which are the little things that make life feel worth it. Pieces of joy that are still yours regardless of whatever situation that you're moving away from. A glass of wine is something that I use in a lot of my artwork that kind of represents a shift in energy. Like once you have that glass of wine, everything slows down. And there's like a sense of promise that things will be okay. I promise I'm not an alcoholic. I do love wine, clearly, but I think it's a good representation of that feeling because in the same way where you take that first sip of wine after a hard day, you kind of feel that like sense of relief. It's an energy shift, if that makes sense. And then, regardless of the situation you're in, you still have your treasure, which is your passion, your intelligence, your work ethic, your talent, your sense of humor. Things about you that make you amazing, and these are things that you might not even see in yourself, especially when you're going through something hard. But they are things that other people do notice, even the quietest, smallest onlookers, which is the rat, admiring your strength. And then we have the horizon, which is the promise that you're not stuck where you are, you're moving somewhere better. You're on a ship with your wine and your treasure, the things that bring you joy and the things that make you amazing. Basically, this painting is about the fact that you've always been on the right path. Even if you don't feel confident about your current situation, you'll always have the power of those small joys and what makes you great guiding you. Anytime I've been in a tough situation and I thought things were never going to change and it felt like the end of the world, that was never true. I thought things were never going to change for me, but they almost always did. In fact, I think they always did. And in hindsight, I can see it's because of these elements, which is why this painting is so important to me. So that pretty much sums up this piece. So I'm editing this video right now and wanted to interrupt myself for a second just to kind of explain a few things about this piece. The meaning behind it is a personal one, but I did figure that a lot of people could relate to this as well, which is why I say you a lot and address you, the audience, directly. However, I do understand that having small joys and characteristics that the world loves about you doesn't necessarily mean that your problems will disappear. I know life isn't fair and some problems that we come in contact with are out of our control. But the meaning behind this piece is something that I've seen in myself a lot and others, and pretty much all of my friends. It's also the lens in which I'd like to view my own life when I'm going through struggle seasons now. When my friends are going through it, I see it in them that they kind of dull down their personality. They're not getting as much joy from the things that they usually get joy from, but slowly but surely those joys come back and those personalities that glow about them come back too. So just in general, this painting is about resilience, which is something that I think every human being has in them and is capable of doing whatever life throws at you. Okay, with that, let's get back to the rest of this video. I want to talk a little bit about the painting series that My Wine, My Treasure belongs to. The series is called Next Bloom. So this is a body of work about the natural cycles that we move through in life. And I say natural because these are things that are all around us and almost feel scientific to me. You can't have light without darkness. Flowers bloom, they die, and then they bloom again. And I believe our lives work in similar cycles. We go through phases of struggle, feeling stagnant, and just feeling down or dim. And those moments are what lead us into our next bloom. And I think these cycles kind of work on larger scales as well as small scales, like large scale being maybe you're fully at rock bottom and have to find your way out of that, and it's like a giant life revelation that you go through. Or it could literally be that you had a stressful week at work, but on Saturday you get to go to Olive Garden with your friends and eat pasta and drink cocktails. That moment could be your next bloom, but the stressful week made it so that Saturday is fucking awesome. more awesome than it would have been if you didn't have a bad week. So these are generally the times where we feel powerful, alive, and finally breaking open again. So this series doesn't avoid those darker parts, it kind of embraces them because it's a natural part of becoming who you're meant to be next. And I didn't make this series for us to overthink those ups and downs, but to trust them, to recognize them as part of the rhythm of being alive. Before we end this video, I kind of want to talk about how I like to present my paintings. I like to think about them like people think about songs. A song is usually rooted in real life. You listen to it, you relate to it, you feel something, and you kind of live in it for a moment. My paintings obviously don't sing, so you can't dance to them, but if they could, this is the feeling I'd want you to walk away with. If you like this piece, it is for sale on my website, so you can definitely go check it out there at summertea.art. That is the URL. I also have prints for sale of this piece if you're interested in that. I'll also drop in a clip of what the print looks like for you. Another fun fact that I love about this piece is that the sides of it are painted like with this cool neon glow that also matches the symbols above the treasure chest. So that heart, star, and money sign symbol, it matches that, and I use the same colors for it. So I think it's like a very nice cohesive look that would look great on someone's wall. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to hear more videos like this one, feel free to subscribe. Stay safe out there. Bye for now.